everybody. Happy to be in the same room with all of you founders, business owners, C-level executives. Today we're going to talk about a little bit about Amazon, TikTok Shop. Everybody loves TikTok Shop right now, and Meta ads. So the first half of this, I'll be going through some Amazon tips, tricks, tactics, some actionable things. If you're on Amazon and you haven't prepped for BFCM, it's kind of too late, but I'll give you some actionable steps that you could implement. So some e-com tactics that you need to be using for your brand with some no bullshit proven strategies that we have found to work this year. So again, what we're going to cover last minute BFCM tips for you guys that are on Amazon. What's been working this year at bad marketing on Amazon, on TikTok Shop, on Meta, some actionable strategies. I think I have 3 tips that you guys can go implement today. How TikTok Shop is taking over the game, and then some Meta ad actionable steps. Cool? So who are we? Well, I'm Michael Jordan, retired from the NBA a few years ago. No, but one of the partners at Bad Marketing, like Eddie likes to joke, if I'm not behind a screen, about 50% of the time I'm doing outdoor stuff. So that's what I enjoy. That's what motivates me and drives me to get behind the screen and hustle 12 hours a day. Who are you?
I'm nobody. Okay.
All right. That's Eddie. Okay, so show of hands. Who is selling on Amazon right now? Cool, a few people. Who has tried to sell on Amazon before? Okay. And then you guys quit, right? So I get this all the time. Do I really need to be on Amazon, right? Fees are so high. Bezos is so mean. The answer is yes, absolutely. It's 2025 almost. If you're an e-com brand and you're not on Amazon, you're just losing revenue. You're paying for ads and sending customers to your competitors. Right, so I'm specifically looking at you, Jasper. So, so benefits of being on Amazon.
No, but like harp on him for a second.
Yeah. So like we talked last night, and you sell a high ticket. What? It's $1,000. Yeah, and return rates are high on Amazon. You can't do your own customer service. I think you said it was one of the big things, but Amazon actually has released a lot of like programs now. If you order something and you go try to return it, they're gonna send you, like, make you jump through hoops, and you as a brand can put like FAQs and like make them go through the rabbit hole, and hopefully by the time that they get to the end of that, they've answered their own question, right? And then they exit from trying to return it. Or you can set up where like you wanna approve every single return. Okay, so a lot of these issues that DTC e-com brand owners have come to know over the last 6-7 years, actually Amazon has done a really good job of combating those, and it's not an issue anymore, right? I don't have LTV data. Well, actually you do now. I can't retarget. Actually you can now. I can't send a discount to cart abandoners. Actually you can now. So I would encourage you guys, if you have those objections, talk to me. I'm happy to share exactly how to do it, or look into it yourself, because Amazon is actually combating a lot of those, and they have features to combat those objections now. So benefits of being on Amazon. Well, we've seen this year that DTC brands that are doing 6 figures a month, it's really common to add up to 50% of your revenue on Amazon. So if you have a brand and you search on Amazon and there's 4 or 5 of your branded search terms that pop up, those are your customers that you paid for on Meta, you paid for on Google, they saw you on TikTok. So why would you not want to be on Amazon? It actually loses a conversion, it loses trust. If somebody sees you on TikTok or on Meta, and then they go to Amazon to look at reviews, see if you're on Amazon and you're not, they're not gonna buy your product. They're not going back to TikTok Shop, they're not going back to your website to buy your product. You lose the sale, or they click the back button and they go buy from a competitor, so you're helping your competitors. All right, conversion rates are sky high. We always see higher conversion rates on Amazon versus your Shopify website. People trust Amazon. They have their credit card saved. They live down the block from the Whole Foods, so they know that they can return the product if they don't like it. Everybody knows FBA fulfilled by Amazon, so that's where they pick, pack, and ship the product for you for extremely cheap prices. So that's a benefit over your 3PL. Maybe you blow up, you go viral on TikTok. FBA is infinitely scalable, whereas maybe your 3PL isn't. Ads are extremely efficient. So Facebook guys, Meta guys, look at me cross-eyed when I'm like, yeah, our ROAS for this brand was 25x. Like, no way, impossible, right? But on Amazon, you can actually have a 25x ROAS. 15x is really common because purchase intent is so high. If I go to Amazon and I search, air purifier, like I'm there to buy an air purifier, and I'm gonna buy one. You just have to do your job as a brand to convince me why yours is the best choice. Another benefit, you can retarget and remarket to Amazon customers now. So what are the best performing Meta ads? Retargeting, right? Well, you can actually do that on Amazon now. And then, already covered this point, but yeah, you're losing sales to your competitors. You're paying for your customers to buy from your competitors if you're not on Amazon. So some last minute tips, like I said, BFCM is next week. If you haven't done, inventory and all that stuff, it's too late. But for next year, watch your budgets. This isn't a game of, right, who can spend the most. We've seen brands come to us and we analyze last year's BFCM spend and we're like, you lost $10,000. Right? And then we analyzed their LTV data, and it was all deal shoppers, so those customers didn't come back, right? So don't just spend money to spend money, right? Especially if those customers aren't repeat purchasers and they're not buying from you again. You're just making Bezos even more rich. Don't fight for the highest bid either, right? It's a losing game. You're gonna have not a 25 ROAS, but a 0.5 ROAS, right? So what I like to do is put limited budgets in the morning, right? And then let everybody else fight for the high bids for all that traffic in the morning, because the highest converting traffic is in the evening. You put the kids down to bed, you just ate dinner, you're laying on the couch with your wife, your husband, and that's when people buy. And if you blow your entire day's budget in the first 2 hours, well, then you aren't selling to the highest purchase intent customer in the evening. All right, drive external traffic. Amazon loves external traffic. Email list. Here's a tip for you guys. A lot of DTC owners don't like to utilize their email list and still Shopify customers to send to Amazon. Well, use your dead segment on your email list. So subscribers but non-purchasers, or maybe customers that haven't bought from you in 6 to 12 months, re-engage them. A lot of times they'll go to Amazon and they'll buy just because it's Amazon. There's no harm in that. You're not stealing sales from your Shopify site because these people have never bought from you in the first place, or it's been 12 months, right? BFCM specific bundles. A lot of you guys don't like to discount, right, and train customers to only buy on a discount. So create bundles. We've seen multi-packs, 3, 6, 9, if you're selling supplements, work really well, or cross-promote your other products, bundle your 2 best sellers together, and a lot of times that's enough to get somebody to purchase, right, and give them a 10% discount on it instead of Amazon's 25, 30% discount. Cool? You guys with me? Cool. All right, so what's been working this year at Bad Marketing on Amazon? Well, a few things that we've learned. These images on the right side are some of the images that we've made and split tested between. So first off, full funnel ad approach. So a lot of brands come to us and they're like, yeah, we really tried Amazon and it just didn't work. Ads weren't working out. And we do an audit on their account. And it's like, all right, you were using one ad placement. You weren't doing DSP. You weren't doing sponsored brand video. You weren't doing headline search ads, right? So you weren't doing Kindle ads or Echo Show ads until you use that full funnel approach, then you didn't really give it a solid try, right? Next point, simple videos instead of high production. Example, I spent $3,000 for my pet brand on this high production video, had dog models in it and all that stuff. It flopped, totally flopped on Amazon. And then my business partner shot a video in the warehouse with his iPhone, and he had like an iPhone 5, so it was super shitty. And it like crushed it, right? People just trusted that video because it was like, you know, their friend showing them, hey, look, I shot this video of my dog. Look how much they love the treats. So we found, we'll always test between like high production videos and iPhone style videos or UGC style videos. This next point, so data-driven decisions. I kind of touched on it before, but for those that sell on Amazon, show of hands, do you guys know your LTV or your CAC or your TACOS or any of these metrics? Cool, couple people. Well, you guys work with us. So.
Not those kind of tacos.
Yeah. So you can actually derive your LTV and all these metrics. And if you're selling on Shopify, like you're doing business by how well or how poor these metrics are doing. So why would you not make those decisions on Amazon, right? So you can look at LTV, repeat purchase rate, average order value. Great example is cohort analysis. So I'll analyze last BFCM's cohort, and we'll look how many times have they purchased again? Did they purchase again? And that will inform us to tell us, is it worth running this 25% lightning deal, right? If somebody just bought once, they're a deal shopper, right? But if I can break even or lose money on a customer that comes back 4 times after they get my BFCM discount, that's worth it to me. Make sense? Total advertising cost of spend.
Bro, you could have totally gone a different direction with that answer.
Oh. We actually just had those at lunch. Yeah, that just measures like your total ad spend against revenue driven. Mm-hmm. Retargeting deals and promos, right? So retargeting ads are always the most efficient spend, highest conversion. There's programs within Amazon that you can actually retarget cart abandoners, you can retarget VIP customers, you can retarget repeat purchasers with all kinds of different deals and promos and coupons and discounts. A lot of times when we audit a brand, we'll see that brands just aren't using these features, right? So go into your Amazon account. They're called brand deal promotions, and like see if you guys are using those or not, okay? Virtual bundles for cross-selling, we touched on that. Look at your Shopify data, right? Look at what products people buy together, and you can actually see that on Amazon as well. You can see if they purchase similar products, or if they start with this purchase in your catalog, maybe it's your best seller, then they come back and they purchase another product in your catalog. And then social proof and UGC, so this over 100,000 happy customers, right? People buy from other people. I get FOMO. I'm like, wow, these mushroom gummies must be good if 100,000 people have bought these. 153% is about the average growth that we've seen on Amazon this year for all of the clients across the board at Bad Marketing. So that's supplement brands, home and kitchen brands, men's accessory brands. So it's not exclusive to any niche. Amazon is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and continuing to grow, especially with what I'm about to talk about here in a minute with the TikTok shop and Amazon partnership. So here's a few actionable, no bullshit strategies. Go implement them. They're going to make you more money. Strategy number 1, stand out in the crowd. This is something we split test religiously. Badges, so you'll see this Prime Day badge. That's not actually on the box. If you order this and it gets delivered to you, you're not going to open it and see this Prime Day red banner, right? But that got a massive increase in clicks because we were the only people in that niche that had this badge. Same with the viral on TikTok, on YouTube, and 2x the size. Think about if your main image is a supplement bottle, you can put a banner like that Prime Day across the lid, and it can convey whatever important information, right? 10,000 milligrams of whatever is important in your product. Cool, questions? Strategy number 2, slash-through pricing. So this, makes customers kind of mad. I think they're starting to catch on to it. At least my friends have asked, like, are your products really, 70% off? No, they're not, but, everybody uses this hack, so you can manipulate your price and your list price to get these big slash-through prices. So you'll see on the right in that red box, the list price slash through, big 23% discount for $9.99. This product sells for $9.99 or maybe like $11 all the time, right? Number 3, I call these ninja low bid ad campaigns. So without getting too far in the weeds, unlike Meta, which is CPM based, right? Amazon ads are actually auction based, so you're bidding against other people. Well, if somebody is out of budget and you are in budget, then you're going to win the bid. So what we'll do is we will set up the top 10 keywords in a separate campaign. We'll put really low bids, like 25 cents, 35, 45 cents. And at night, when all of your competitors are out of budget, you're the only one in the market in the auction, and you're going to get really, really low bids. So we'll see ROAS as high as 15, 35 from these ninja low bid campaigns. Make sense? So here's what to target in those. Competitor ASIN products, your top 10 search terms, your own listing, place and brand defense, right? If somebody's going to come in, your competitor's going to come in, make it hard to play ball. Don't just let them advertise on your listing. Other products, so cross-promote other products in your catalog with these campaigns, and then frequently bought together products. Strategy number 4, let's talk about LTV and analyzing repeat purchaser cohorts. All right, so this is a software called Merchant Spring. This is what we utilize, but you can analyze all of your new customers, your LTV data, your repeat purchase rate, your LTV to CAC ratio, and you guys make these data-driven decisions for Shopify, for other platforms. Do it on Amazon too. Your Amazon will significantly improve. Cool. That's
Sit
it
down.
for me.
My
Thanks,
turn.
guys.
I'm going to stay seated. Is that cool with you guys? I'll bring the energy.
No.
I'm comfy. I'm great. All right. I'm going to go over 2 things. So I'm going to start with TikTok Shop, and then I'm going to get into Meta ads. Seems to be 2 hot topics here. Beautiful. Thank you. So a couple high-level notes here on TikTok Shop, and then we'll dive through some like rules and certain things that they've kind of released and future plans, I think, just so I can kind of talk some of the opportunities here on TikTok Shop. So number 1, a very important note is we've noticed on TikTok Shop that you need to be testing creators, not creatives. Problem is TikTok Shop has, and James knows this firsthand for sure, TikTok Shop has like a lot of limitations on outreach. So like, whatever it was 6 months ago when we were in Atlanta for the breakout session, there were no rules. You could reach out to, 10,000 people tomorrow and TikTok would allow that, right? Shortly after that event, when we talked about TikTok Shop, TikTok started making like tiered rules. So essentially like if you have $0 of revenue, you can only reach out to 50 people per week, et cetera, right? And as your revenue goes up, you can reach out to more people. Now, the way that it's kind of hard when you're a solo brand trying to solve this problem because you have to generate revenue from outside of TikTok in order to increase your threshold. Otherwise, you're kind of just handcuffed talking to like 50 people a week, and most of them are going to say no, right? Because you have no sales. So how we're trying to solve this is essentially due to the fact that we're managing many TikTok stores, we're able to pool creators cross stores, right? So now we're essentially externally building our own list of creators that we've worked with so that now every time we have a new store, we don't have to go and be like, please work with us. Please, we suck. I know, but like work with us. I promise you'll make money. Instead, we just go to people who are like, hey, dude, you already know we make money together on this other store. There's this other store coming here. It's a new concept. It's great. Revenue is great off platform. Like all these things that TikTok doesn't attribute, We do 5 million a month on Shopify. We want you as one of our first creators. Very exciting opportunity. But the problem is TikTok doesn't let you do that internally, right? Every time you reach out to someone on TikTok, it's very transparent. You can see how much they've done in sales, and they can see how much you've done in sales. And if your number is 0 and their number is 100K, you have no leverage in the conversation, right? So really, as a $0 store, you're competing for like crumbs. You're talking to all the $0 affiliates, right? It's not a good pool to be in. So just something to kind of be conscious of. Number 2, virality, obviously, on TikTok is like the whole play that everyone's trying to hit. That's all we care about on the platform when we do get creators that are able to work with brands. Unfortunately, like I said, the ramp up time to get those creators is like, if you're a new brand, it's a few months because of the limitation on outreach, which I'll get into in the next slide. And the good news is, while TikTok Shop seems like it's been around for a while, it's still very new. Most of you guys are not on TikTok Shop, and you guys are the ones who are in these rooms trying to learn how to get ahead of everyone else. So imagine all the other people who, are kind of throwing TikTok to the side. They're making all these assumptions. Oh my gosh, only little kids are on TikTok. No one wants to buy my product. No one wants to buy an expensive product on TikTok, blah, blah, blah. They're the worst customers. It's all this like fugazi that everyone's talking about, right? Like whenever I fly, I always like try to sit in like row 4 or 5 so that I could see everyone in first 4 rows and see what they do on their phones and laptops the whole time. And it's cool to see because like even these people who are in their 50s in first class, they're on their phone scrolling through things on TikTok they probably shouldn't be looking at because they have wives. But they're definitely on TikTok the entire time. Like I was on an hour and 15-minute flight here, and the dude next to me is probably 70 years old, and he literally did not stop scrolling through TikTok for an hour and 15 minutes. So just get rid of those notions that you have in your head about the platform because it is not the case, and it is not getting banned in January anymore. So that's definitely one of the first things that Trump already talked about, that's not going to be the case. So we'll see what happens with that, but they're definitely not going to get banned. So here's just some numbers on the actual outreach side. So you can see, $0, number of unconnected creators, 0 up to $2,000, 2,000, 50,000, 7,000. This is weekly limits, right? So you can kind of get an understanding here of how restricted it is. It's pretty out of hand. So a year ago, it's a free-for-all. You could reach out to 1 billion people if you wanted to. Now it's not the case. So a couple things that we're doing differently. Again, we're sourcing creators externally. So if you guys are already off platform, you're not on TikTok yet, you have affiliates outside of TikTok, start having them drive revenue to your TikTok shop to get sales on your TikTok shop to then increase the limitations pretty quickly so that then you can directly outreach to other people on TikTok without these limitations. So it's a pretty quick way to kind of inflate sales, just like Michael's saying send people to Amazon. You can do the same thing with TikTok Shop. Send them from your email list, get a bunch of sales in the door, unlock your limits, and then now you're kind of recycling new creators, and then you can kind of get into the game quickly like that. So that's going to be very advantageous. Nourishment of creators, again, similar thing. We have to go back and forth with a lot of these guys. Example, I'll use James, right? Like someone will send 20 videos for the dog supplement, and like they all suck because that creator sucks. And you can give them feedback, and they'll come back, and that creator still sucks, right? And so it's funny because James and I will have conversations, and he's very direct about how much these people suck sometimes. No, in a good way. You remember which chick I'm talking about? Yeah, 100%. But it's funny. We joke about these things. So, but just something to be conscious of. Just because these people are trying to sell on these platforms doesn't mean that they're great at it, right? So there's a lot of coaching involved. There's a lot of vetting involved. And the reality is, most people that are like trained affiliates are either working with big brands, or the reason they're trained is because someone sold an info product, teaching them how to become a creator in the world's creator economy and make money selling other people's products and making videos. And they got trained on how to do it to really sell that person's products, right? The person who sold them the course. So I'll sell you the course. Hey, James, pay me $300. You're going to learn how to be a creator, make all this commission. James, you're so good at making videos now. I will give you 100% commission on my products, and then James sells my products only, right? So I'm going to hoard James, even though I taught him how to do it for other people. I'm really going to try to hoard him and not let other people get in contact with James because it makes me more money for him to sell my product than other people's products, right? So something important here. And then last thing is leveraging softwares. Right now we have 4 different bots we've been testing. They range anywhere from $200 a month as the cheapest to about $1,000 is the most expensive. These bots automate this process. We can create filtration systems. We can tell it what kind of creators to reach out to. and it's just mass reaching out to a bunch of creators. Much easier than VAs and stuff like that, to be honest. The problem is these software companies are price gouging pretty much, just because like it's new technology, no one else has it, very limited pool of people that you can talk to who do have it. So they have the leverage at this point. I think in 6 months they'll become dirt cheap. We'll be paying $50, $100 an account. But right now I'm sitting here negotiating people down from $1,000 to $600, which is still fucking crazy per account, especially if you're a new store starting with no revenue on the platform. So these are some ways you can kind of get around the outreach limits. Any questions before I move on outreach stuff? Yeah, this is your total store revenue. So just for context, like you could literally run ads, make revenue, and you're good to go, right? The thing is, it's kind of like a big cycle. In order to run ads, you need good creatives. In order to get good creatives, you usually need influencers unless you're really good at making creatives in-house. It's like a chicken and egg situation, right? So it's like, how much money do you want to lose how quickly to earn just the right to message more people, you know, and still beg them, right? So, yes. Yeah, you can even run ads on Facebook and technically send them TikTok. I'm sure they're gonna destroy your CPMs, but like just, you know, going crazy here, you could do that. So that's a good way to move up. So yeah, just keep in mind we're getting into a world where like creators are in charge of these platforms. They're gonna have a lot more leverage than we are. It's a pretty funny cycle. Like used to be where like creators didn't know about getting paid. Then it's like all their egos got super inflated and their pricing got super inflated. Then like the top creators became worth nothing anymore because everyone knew they weren't gonna sell anything because they're overcharging. And then now we're kind of coming back up to this thing where like even small creators who don't have massive followings can just be really damn good at making one viral video and they can make $100,000 off your product, right? So it's a cool time to be alive. It's a cool time to be just a normal 16-year-old kid with a phone, you know? I didn't have this shit when I was growing up, so lucky them. This is pretty cool. So this actually started in February, announced in February, but now I'm starting to see them more often. TikTok actually runs Google Ads to your listings. So they're actually trying to pump their own revenue as well externally. I'm sure they have an internal Google team that's trying to compete with other people on their own products. They would rather, think about it logically as TikTok, if you're running ads on Google for your supplement, TikTok would rather compete against you to get them to buy it on TikTok Shop, even if they're gonna lose money and put money in your pocket just to get a buyer to start getting used to shopping on TikTok Shop, because what is the LTV of that buyer to TikTok? Not you guys, but to TikTok, right? If that person goes on TikTok, oh, that was so easy, I used Apple Pay, it took me 2 seconds, I might wanna shop more on TikTok, and then boom, all of a sudden this person's worth, you know, $100,000 over the next 5 years to TikTok. And so they're starting to run top of funnel traffic to your listings. So you can look at it as a disadvantage, oh, TikTok's competing with me. Or you could say, dude, TikTok's spending their own ad dollars on Google to get them to my listing so that they buy from me, right? 2 ways to look at it. I prefer the second way. Another thing, and over time, obviously these incentives are gonna decrease. We talked about this in April at the event in Atlanta. But TikTok does like co-fund promotions. So it used to be super aggressive, like, hey, we'll give you 25% off and we'll pay the whole 25% and we'll give them free shipping and we'll cover the shipping. And then over time, you know, as more people are on the platform, they're less incentivized to give you discounts. So the sooner you're in, the more discounts you're gonna get. But an example right now of something is like, you run a 20% off coupon, TikTok will cover 10%. So the customer is getting 20% off, but you're getting 10% rebate back from TikTok and they're paying it out of their own pocket just to get the buyer on the platform. Make sense? Make sense? James, thank you for listening, James. I was the only one. All right, cool. Next thing, spy tools. These are kind of hard to find, so we already kind of vetted the ones that work the best for us. Fastmoss is one of them, and Colodata, I don't even know how to pronounce it, is another one that we use. I like Fastmoss the most. It's just a really easy dashboard to use. Even if you guys are not on TikTok Shop, these are great platforms to use. Just understand, like, there's a massive affiliate economy on TikTok Shop that you guys have not been introduced to. And this data goes far beyond TikTok, right? If something is trending as like top on TikTok, that means it's probably something that you should sell outside of TikTok as well. And so this is a really good customer analytics and research tool to be able to spin up new products. I can't tell you how many times, like, we go to this and we're like, oh my gosh, collagen powder. Who's got collagen powder? And then like a client's like, I can make that up by tomorrow. We're like, great, let's start selling collagen powder because there's $20 million a week of collagen powder being sold on TikTok, right? So these are kind of cool stats that you could do. But I would definitely be getting this software if you're an e-com of any sort. Again, don't just be boxed in of like this only works on TikTok. You get the data from TikTok and you sell elsewhere. It's like any other platform, right? Any TikTok questions before I move on? Oh, nice. Okay. Where were you guys like 3 minutes ago when I was like, anyone paying attention? And then no one, you know what I mean? James.
Can I share a couple of other things that TikTok's doing?
Go for it. You want the mic?
Yeah, so TikTok runs what they call TikTok Creative Challenges. So I was invited to participate in one for Q4. And basically, I had to guarantee to spend $20,000 in advertising in a 30-day period. And in exchange for that, TikTok allowed me to create a creative brief that they promote to certain creators who are TikTok approved. They guaranteed me 30 pieces of content. And at the end of the process, if I spend 20 grand in 30 days, they give me a $10,000 ad credit. So it's only costing me 10 grand for 20,000 in advertising. And I don't have to pay the creators any commission. They're paid by TikTok because their content is at a level that TikTok says, yes, we're gonna make so much advertising revenue from this that it's worth it for them to curate. And there were only 20 brands who were approved for this $20,000, $10,000 kickback. I was one of them, and we've got about 18 pieces of content. The best content I've had from any creators in the 6 months I've been on TikTok. The advertising credit kickbacks, they only offer in Q4, and it's a very limited thing. But the other thing, they've just launched something on platform called TikTok One, where basically you create a brief, they'll source creators for you, and you just have to guarantee to spend X amount of advertising dollars in a 30-day period, and you can roll that month after month after month. So the creative on TikTok fatigues much faster than it does on Facebook or Instagram. So you need, excuse the expression, metric fuck tons of content. You just need to keep that engine fueled all the time. But if you open a TikTok shop, you're getting emails daily. We'll sign up for this promotion. We'll subsidize X. And so like I've got a $10 off coupon in my store right now. They're funding $5 of it. So their mandate is clearly to grow and the other platforms are feeling it. There's no question. My CPMs and CPAs are much lower on TikTok than they are on any of the other channels. So, you know, these guys are the experts, but if anybody wants to pick my brain on what I've learned over the last 6 months, I'm around all weekend.
James, you might be able to answer this one too. Sure. What are you guys seeing for penalties for getting shipments out the door? Is it 48 hours? Is that what they're doing?
If you do not ship your product in 2 business days from the time the customer ordered it, you have a shop score, and they will ding you for sure. The other thing is when you go live, initially you get paid 8 days after the customer gets the delivery. Once you show that you're reliable, they cut you down to 5 days after delivery. I'm now at 1 day after delivery. And they cut down on the reserves that they hold back. So the better you perform on TikTok, the better the cash flow is and everything else.
Eddie, do you know what that penalty is for your first offense of not getting shipments out?
It's just points more than anything else. They don't actually.
Yeah, but like, I'd almost rather be dollar than points.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I'd pay to have a clean record on TikTok.
Yes.
So, any other questions? There's like 1 or 2 more, I think. Michelle?
Ramp-up time to significant scale.
It really depends on the brand. Way too long, and some happen literally like first month.
How long did it take Josh Snow to get traction on TikTok?
It took him a long time, yeah.
He's already crushing money.
Yeah, and he hopped around a bunch of people trying. He had like 4 different people working on his account at the same time. I know everyone that was involved, and so like I'm like, well, you're working on it, and then someone else would post, I'm like, are you working on it? And I'm like, I just put the piece together. I'm like, Josh, how many people do you have working on your TikTok store? So he paid a lot of money and overspent and lost money, and it still took him like a year, you know? Yeah, and this is like, yeah, it's definitely unusual. Yeah. Yeah, 3 to 6 months is like, I guess, a fair estimate for everyone across the board. There will be some people that take long, which is just go crazy.
Well, they gave away accounts that had 15 and 20,000 followers. They had 600 accounts that they gave to creators that already had
No, goalie's like the top on TikTok right now. Yeah. You had a question?
What's your lifespan? What do you think, how long is TikTok gonna be? So like, how long do you think the
How
shop is
long
gonna
has
be?
Facebook been around?
Couple years. Couple years, but I mean.
Yeah, longer. Longer.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't see it dropping off, you don't see
No,
any
hell
clip,
no.
you don't see
Everyone's
any-
copying TikTok.
Okay.
Watch, the next thing that's coming is Meta's going to copy TikTok, and they're going to have Meta shops, and they've already partnered up with Amazon, and Amazon's going to do the fulfillment, and all your products on Amazon are going to be auto-loaded into Meta, and you're going to be able to tag them into videos just like you are on TikTok Shop, and people are going to shop on Meta with one-click purchases, and everyone's trying to do what they do. I mean, Reels came out because of TikTok, you know what I mean? Facebook, same thing. YouTube Shorts, yeah, YouTube Shopping. Exactly, right? So it's not going anywhere. TikTok's user base is growing immensely fast. People are, I mean, the new generation that's younger than all of us is treating TikTok like Google. It's crazy. Like, I'm telling you, my friend's fiance is 27 years old, and she has not Googled anything in like 2 years. She'll go on TikTok and be like, how do I do this for my nails? And she'll just watch a video. She went, like, I've never done that. No. They don't have, or even to read at this point. They just want to see they're like, how can I get this in a 15-second reel with some edits? You know what I mean? And so that's where it's going. So like, don't be shocked if TikTok search volume starts competing with platforms like Google and Amazon. Like, it's going there. So yeah, I would heavily invest into it. Eric.
So I believe that Goalie is only giving away 30% commission to affiliates, but obviously it's a super high margin product because it's gummies. So why doesn't a brand like that or a competitor give away 60%?
I think they were giving away more than 30 at one point. I know they were doing some crazy shit at one point because we're like, what is going on?
It feels like the best offer would win for affiliates. So
Yeah,
I'm
but
just-
it's all about total revenue, right? So like, you know, let's say someone like James could give me 100% on his product, right? But I don't know. This is an extreme example, obviously, so like don't take it seriously. But like Apple, right? Apple's like a super well-known product. If Apple gave me 30% and James gave me 100, I'm going with Apple. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, how many more sales am I going to get with Apple at 30%? My net for myself is going to be much higher at the end of the day. So that's
just
kind of
'cause
how you
the
got to think about it.
conversion's going to be higher on
Way higher conversion, right? Everyone knows what Goalie is. So like when you talk about it, people go online, you're supported by 100,000 reviews on Google, you know, million reviews on their website. It's like you have all this stuff backing you up. So my 30%, I mean, I'll run it up versus trying to fight for someone else who has 50 reviews at 100%. You get what I'm saying?
And it's nothing compared to the margins.
Yeah.
And 30% on TikTok Shop is high. Most of the brands are paying anywhere from 10 as well.
You have to think, Eric. Check. Yeah, you have to think, Eric. If like it's so easy to get virality and so many views on TikTok, like maybe you can afford 60% off if you get a creator that is just crushing it and getting tens of millions of views, right? It could put you in a really bad spot. I know, like personally, because I thought about doing that. Like, why not just do 50, 60% affiliate commission for my brand? I'm like, man, if I had one of these videos pop off, like that's a lot of money. And you know, if you're a mid-sized brand, you might not be able to afford that or bankroll that.
Obviously, you're playing on like repeat purchases if you're doing
Yeah.
that, right? Like if you have a one-time purchase brand and you're cutting like that, yeah, or super high margin, fair, yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
Can you talk about your fees and how much a brand should kind of set aside to invest to get on TikTok as far as inventory?
Okay, so I won't talk about our fees, but like I'll talk about how much you should set aside. I don't think inventory is something that you want to like project out before you even start, because like we were talking about, you might go 2.5, 3 months without a sale, to be honest, right? So like, I don't want you sitting here and being like, oh my gosh, TikTok's booming, I got to dedicate 10,000 SKUs, put them on this, or 10,000 products, put them on the side, whatever. Don't do that. You're gonna link it to your Shopify store, so it's all kind of gonna be centralized at the end of the day, and you're just gonna work off your current inventory. And just think of it as a new sales channel. As it starts ramping up, you can kind of see clearly how it's ramping up, and then you can just add more inventory yourself to feed that channel, right? So that's one. Two, cost-wise, Most your cost initially, unless you're running ads, is going to be in time. And product, yeah, obviously. So like for us, it's time. So like we charge people mainly upfront, and then we don't even charge a monthly. We just charge a profit share. But that entire upfront that we get paid goes to payroll. Like it's people trying to manage creators, reach out to people, talk to the clients, et cetera, right? Like I don't make a monthly retainer on it. And so I would tell you, like, if you're gonna do it internally and, you know, take care of it yourself, I would dedicate somewhere around 30K to 50K to like really doing it right, if you wanna do it right. You know what I mean? Anything less than that, you can do it. It's just potentially gonna take more time, or you're gonna wanna feed it with like outside affiliate traffic like we were talking about, so that you can get your numbers up quick.
So how many people do you onboard monthly, and how long does it take to get a proposal?
Michelle, come on. We've been texting about this. We actually throttle our TikTok sales a lot, honestly. Like last month we had 30 people who wanted to pay us on TikTok, and we took like 3. It just I'm gonna take too many people at this point, and I'm gonna stop, you know, doing a good job for someone like James because I'm focusing on the next person. You know what I mean? I know. One more TikTok question. I saw another hand. Yep.
Yeah, so can you talk a little bit about TikTok ads and like what's working, or I don't know, strategies or insights that you're seeing with the ads specifically?
Yeah, so we have some accounts that, you know, don't have TikTok Shop for like copyright reasons, but we still run ads on TikTok even for them, and we're doing some pretty serious scale. You'll see them in the next screenshots. A lot of them come from TikTok. I would say, like, one, keep in mind what James is saying is so true. Creatives fatigue so much faster. The people that do well on TikTok ads, I mean, I can't even explain to you. Like every 2 weeks, there's like 150 creatives. Like it's an obnoxious amount. At some points, you won't even use some of them. They get lost in the abyss of a Google Drive. But like, you really gotta keep pumping creatives over and over again. Now, the cool part about TikTok is at scale, it gets way easier because you have hundreds of creators pumping creatives for you on a regular basis, and you can take those creatives and just run them as ads and now make more money off the same creatives.
So is that the strategy where it's really like TikTok Shop affiliates first, then?
That's how we do it. And for cost reasons, it goes a long way, right? So like, it's all one big ecosystem, right? So like, the nicer your page looks with more people talking on your page and more content, the more trusted you are. In order to do that, you have to get creators to make more content, or you make the content yourself. Most people don't make it themselves. They're going to go get the creator, and then same for the ads. In order to do the ads, you need to have good content, usually UGC style. The best way is to get it from creators. You could, I mean, if I honestly, dude, if I did not have a marketing agency with 200 employees, I would go all in on TikTok Shop right now. I would build an entire in-house studio with fake sets, fake living rooms, fake kitchens, fake bedrooms, and I would just pump creatives from my own creators that don't have followings on TikTok for all I give a shit, and just pump out 300, 400 creatives a day for my own brands internally, and I would just run it up. And I would probably make $100 million in the next few years. But I can't do that. So go do it.
Can I add one more thing? The beauty of TikTok Shop is, let's say you have a creator who did really well for you, and you're paying them 15% commission. They give you what's called a spark code, which authorizes you to put advertising dollars behind their post. So now you're boosting their post, they're making more money in commission, they're incentivized to produce more content to keep the whole thing fulfilled. So it's a very closed loop. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's like a Facebook whitelist, but you can track it. You know what I mean? They can track it.
I have videos with over 1,000 sales on them.
Yeah, exactly. All right, cool. Last question, and then we'll go to Meta.
What are the best ad creative types in your opinion? We do all of our creatives in-house, and it's mostly just me, and I'm kind of like a content machine just pumping out, but I want to build a kind of team that can create more videos. But what do you think is the best type of ad creative? Creating in-house, or working with influencers, or any other types?
Okay, so your choices are not fair. I'll tell you why. The answer is both. Creators, like you could be better at making creatives in-house, but the creator has the page with 500,000 followers already. You know what I mean? You don't have that. So like, that's one disadvantage. 2, you do, yeah, but you have how many of them? 1? I get 100 creators, I have 100 of them. You know what I mean? So distribution is much different. So If we're talking just ads, I think both. Like a lot of times there are creators, because they make so much content, they have a different view on how the video should be made than you do. As much as you might think about all the angles and everything, I've had so many situations where we think of 100 angles and then a creator comes back with one. I'm like, that's fucking good. I didn't think of it this way. Like, that's a good way to pitch this, right? And then now you have a completely new angle and you're just having people feed you different marketing angles, right? But the one answer to your question would be, what is the most shocking hook that could be created? And that is what we'll do best, okay? So like, we have mushroom gummy brands on TikTok Shop, and the best angle is literally like, sorry, not mushroom gummy brand, like lung pills, like to clear out your lungs. The best angle is like literally like, it looks like a bowl of like disgusting mucus and stuff, and it's like, this all came out of my lungs type thing, right? It's like really strong, alarming hooks. I'll give you an example. Kevin and I were filming ads this morning. We filmed a bunch of ads, direct CTA, all this other stuff. I guarantee Kevin and I know which two ads will hit the hardest already. We already know which ones they are, and they're like the most controversial hooks. Like if you listen to the first 5 seconds, you're like, fuck, that's ballsy. I'm gonna listen to whatever this guy's saying right now, right? It's just like so much of a shocker compared to what they've been told and taught, that like they're watching it to challenge you, or they're watching it to like be open-minded to like whatever else you're saying. And so those are the things that work the best at the end of the day, whether it's the creator or whether it's you. That is the most important thing, whether it's TikTok, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram. I don't care what it is, like that's all it is. If I had to like, even today, like whatever we filmed, we're like, cool, let's film that, but like change the first sentence to this, now change the first sentence to this, now change the first sentence to this. Like, I don't even care to change the rest of the ad. The rest of the ad is the same to me. It's like, what is the first like 5 seconds changing? And because that's all that matters, right? So that's the answer. Great question. All right, got 2 minutes and 15 seconds. You guys ready for this? I know, Michael chewed out my time. He didn't look at the clock. All right, cool. So 4 quick valuable lessons from meta ads that have been working for us. Listicles is what we call these. They're basically either like lists or long form sales pages comparing other things that just like, it's kind of like a hidden ad in a way, right? Advertorials, they're not really an advertorial, to be honest. They're like literally list ads. So like, I'll give you an example. I have a business, a local business where we're in like a touristy city, and people search like what to do in the city. My best performing ad is an ad from Facebook that says like top 5 things to do in Helen, Georgia. And then you go and like, it's number 5, number 4, number 3, number 2, and mine is number 1. And I'm like advertising other people's shit. I don't really care, because like I've placed mine as number 1 and I'm sending all the traffic there. So everyone's searching what to do in this city. I'm the number 1 thing, even though I'm kind of like feeding it myself. Pretty cool. Mike was talking about this from Jasper. He was talking about this at lunch. Like, he made an entire fake news channel in Canada. He was 20. You're still liable at 21, Mike, just to make it clear, bro. But he made like a whole fake news channel and like was able to get other people to like, pay for articles and shit on there, but he owned it all and he made up whatever narrative he wanted to, right? So kind of same situation. We're sending people to different domains that allow us to kind of hide that Timeline Nutrition is the number 1 brand for anti-aging, right? And we're filling it in there. So this is one really cool example. Another example here of what they look like. These are working super well. ROAS is higher on these. Whitelist ads, basically just doing it through other influencers and creator pages. Me and Mike, again, we were talking about this last night. He's like, it's so funny to me that an influencer will charge me, $10,000 to give me a story post, 1 video, and then if I want to whitelist their ad account for or their page in my ad account for an entire month, they'll charge me $5,000 and they'll make me 30 creatives to run for ads under their name. He's like, it is so undervalued because everyone's just now, because we're in this creator economy where everything can be tracked, et cetera, and everyone's overvaluing the story views, et cetera. No one can really track the ads. They don't know how to price for ads. They don't know how much you're gonna run in ads. It's a very big, leverage point for you guys as brand owners to go after these guys and run Spark ads on TikTok, whitelist ads on Facebook. Number 3, they're kicking me off stage. Number 3, like Michael was saying on Amazon, try all the campaign types. I see so many people hear someone talk about like one campaign type on Facebook, cost caps. Oh, cost caps are killing it. And then they make their entire ad account cost caps. That's not how these softwares work. There's a reason Facebook has so many different campaign types. Literally try them all, eliminate the ones that don't work, and run with the ones that work for you guys as well. Don't underestimate how much each one of these campaigns makes a different impact. And last but not least, shout out Michelle. Fix your offer, really the most important part. Changing how your offer is structured is crazy. Her conversion rate went from 1% to over 2.5%. AOV increased. Changed the complete setup. Yep, shout out to creative team. But change the entire outlook of the business, right? Now we can spend more money. CPAs can be higher because AOV is higher. Thank you so much. No questions. All right, peace.